The blogger Anthony Rebello thought it would be a brilliant idea to fight back against all of those terrible militant gays. So he organized a straight pride parade at the Capitol Hill in Seattle on Saturday. Now, the idea was to get about 2,000 people to show up. That's how many were invited. But let's be fair, because when you talk about, oh, hey, we're inviting 2,000 people, that doesn't mean that 2,000 people are going to show up. That was like your highest ambition, and you knew going into it, it'll be a little bit less than that. So it was a little bit less than that, but he had 169 people who RSVP'd yes. Now think about it, that's not... 169 people is nothing to scoff at. To get them all gathered in the same place for a protest and they're standing up for something, I mean, that's a fairly sizable crowd, even though you could say, by some standards, for some political issues, it's relatively small in comparison. But on the day of the protest, how many people actually showed up? 0. 0. It was just him. Oh, that's the saddest thing I've ever heard in my life. Let me give you his quote here, because it gets funnier. He says, "In the name of equality and equal rights, to celebrate our right to be heterosexual and to encourage younger heterosexuals that they should be proud of their heterosexuality." Oh, Jesus. I want to explain something to Anthony Rebello here. You want to know why nobody showed up? Straight people aren't oppressed. See, when you have a protest, it's usually because there's some sort of grievance, and you want to fix the grievance. You want to be involved in a movement that makes things better. But when you have a straight pride parade, it's gratuitous. It's unnecessary. See, I'm a straight guy, and I know that in no way, shape, or form am I discriminated against. I mean, think about it. How many states are there that have blocked straight people from getting married? 0. How many states are there where they fire people solely based on the fact that they're heterosexual? 0. By the way, in 29 states still, that exists, where they could fire you just because you're gay and they don't like, your, whatever, effeminate mannerisms. They say, get out of my store. I don't like that you're gay. People can kick you out of their restaurants, or they could just fire you if you work for them. There are still 80-plus countries where it's illegal to be gay. How many countries are there where it's illegal to be straight? There's still over 10 countries that give people the death penalty if they're gay. How many countries are there that give you the death penalty solely because you're straight? No, see, that's the thing. 0. So you're talking about a community that's already on top. So it's not necessary to have a protest. I mean, it's the same thing. Think about it. Make the comparison to white pride. Black pride versus white pride. Historically, when there's a black pride protest and people say, hey, we're fighting for our rights, we're downtrodden, this and that, who comes to mind when you think about stuff like that? Oh, I don't know. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., civil rights icons, heroes. They're fighting against a system that is biased against them. But historically, who's attached to white pride? The KKK and neo-Confederates and people like that. So people look at that and they go, oh my God, those groups are pathetically stupid. Why? Because they already were the majority. They already were in control. By the same token, if you go to Turkey and, there's whatever, some sort of protest for Armenian pride, because we all know there was the genocide there, the Armenian genocide, the Turks killed the Armenians. So if you see that, an Armenian pride event, you'd go, that makes sense. They're historically a downtrodden community. They're oppressed, so they're fighting back against a biased system. But if you see a parade that says Turkish pride, and they're marching through that Armenian town, and they're talking about how the Turks are the best, and nobody can, live up to the Turks, that's not a good protest to see, because you know what follows that. So, again, you know what it is? They try to wipe the slate of history clean to make protests like, I'm just standing up for equality. Why would you need to stand up for equality if you're already equal? In fact, it's not just that you're equal to them, you're still above gay people when it comes to laws and when it comes to perception of society. It's this idea of straight pride. I'm straight. I'm really happy about it. Are you really? Are you really? Is that what's happening? Because it seems to me a little bit kind of like Ted Haggard syndrome here. Yeah, I'm straight, and I'm a pastor, and I'm super moral and religious, and I've never, ever done crystal meth off a gay hooker's ass. What? Did I say that out loud?